Welcome everybody. Today we're going to talk about all of the different configurations and options you have for your ESV suction and discharge ports. So let's start with a technical brochure, and this happens to be the BESV 60, 60 standing for 60 hertz in this case. So in that technical brochure, let's take a look at the product code. So here's an example of the product code for a pump and motor combination. So on the same page, what we're going to be focusing on today is called the configuration option. And today we're going to review every one of these options, and we do have the specific parts so we can look at the differences between all of these. So now let's go to the repair parts. Remember, that's a separate book in your catalog. This is RESV, so repair parts for the ESV, and it's R6. So your R6 has to do with revision. So on that parts book, we flipped it to the major components for the 1 to 22 SV. So on that same page, let's move down to what's called pump bodies. And I've ordered every one of these part numbers here. You can see here that's for the 1, 3, and the 5 SV. And we're going to look at the different styles of all the flanges. So here's an overview of all of the pump bodies that we just looked at in the parts catalog. One thing to note is I have just gone and made labels for the specific part number for this pump body as a part. And just for reference, so I can keep things straight, I've identified the configuration number and also identified the material. Now, of course, these parts don't come with the labels on. That's just for our video here today. For additional information on your pump bodies configuration, we're going to refer to the technical brochure again. So let's get into some more detail in your technical brochure. And we flip the page over to pump characteristics. And let's just focus on the 1 to 22 SV series and some more details on the pump bodies that we're talking about today. So let's pick a couple of these and talk about some of the acronyms that we see because we do like our acronyms. So the first one, the F configuration, we can see that it's an ANSI flange. So ANSI is American National Standards Institute. And inline delivery and suction port. So we're talking about discharge and suction here. And also we can see that it's an AISI 304. That's American Iron and Steel Institute, and that is the grade of stainless. Let's move on to the next, which is the T. That's your oval flange. NPT is your national pipe thread. Again, inline delivery, discharge, and suction port. And AISI, again, grade of stainless 304. So let's move on to the next one. And this is an ANSI flange. It is 304. And this one, you can get the pump manufactured in 4 different positions, which we're going to go into more detail. The N is ANSI. Notice the difference here is 316. P is your Victaulic coupling, again 316. The G is your cast iron, and then C is ISO clamp 316 stainless. So the next page might be helpful as well because that actually shows some diagrams of the different pump bodies or configurations. So let's start with the F. And so today we'll go in the order of the parts book. And so the first one happens to be an F. And so just kind of keep in mind that I've labeled the part number to 1L656. They do not come labeled, and just for the purpose of the video so we can actually see what this configuration style looks like when ordering a pump with the F-style configuration. So one thing is this is a 304 stainless, and the F is a ANSI round flange, and it's a 300-pound ANSI flange, and does not come with the mating flange, so that would have to be purchased elsewhere. And so this is we can see here a 4-bolt, 1.25 inch, 300-pound flange. So let's just look at just a couple examples of some flanges that I had laying around. Remember, in this case, we want a 300-pound 4-bolt flange, 1.25 inch. So this is a 2-inch. So, you know, a lot of your flanges have all kinds of information on them. We can tell this is a 2-inch. This is a slip fit, and it's schedule 80. So this would not be the right flange, but just as an example of another style flange. So the next one here, we just happen to be looking at a 3/16 flange, and it's 1.5. So again, not the right size, but it's also a 150-pound flange. So this particular threaded flange, although 4-bolt, it's 1.5 inch. We want 1.25 inch. This is 150 pound, and we want 300 pound. So moving on to this flange here, we can see that is an 1.25 inch flange, and it is a 300-pound flange, and it happens to be 3/16. As we can see here, it's threaded, and this is a raised face flange. And so you do need a gasket, and there's lots of different styles of gaskets. This happens to be a full face gasket, as opposed to just a gasket that goes on the raised flange. Next on the list, we see the end configuration. And again, this is just the part number of this specific pump body here. But the end configuration is very similar to the F, the one that we just looked at. But we can see here, again, it's really in the literature, it's 3/16 stainless. So 3/16 offers some more corrosion resistance than does 304. So you'll see the same 300-pound flange, and again, we need in this case, 1.25 inch, 300-pound raised face flange with a gasket, and in this case, we've got the full face gasket. So next on the list here in the parts book is the G. And so the G, you can see here, this is a cast iron pump body. And so the one thing that's slightly different here, this is a 250-pound flange. So again, does not come with a mating flange, so that would have to be purchased elsewhere. And you need a raised face mounting flange, 250-pound 4-bolt flange. So the next part number that we're going to focus on is actually the same part number for 4 different build configurations. We can see here that the R, W, X, and Y, same part, but the discharge orientation differs. We can see with the R, the suction is at 12 o'clock and the discharge is at 12, so they're lined up. Right? Suction's on the bottom, discharge is on the top when viewing from top to bottom. The W, always 12 o'clock on the suction, and then 3 o'clock is the discharge. The X, the discharge is at 6 o'clock, and the Y, the discharge is at 9 o'clock. So we can see here, again, this is the R, the W, the X, and the Y, and that has to do with the build orientation on the discharge. And remember, the suction is always on the bottom, that's always at 12 o'clock. And then do you want the discharge, which is on the top, to be 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, or 12 o'clock? And we can see here that that is 304 stainless. And again, the same ANSI round flange configuration that does not come with a mating flange, and you have to purchase that elsewhere. So the next configuration style down the list is your T, and that is a 304 stainless, and we can see here that is an oval flange. Now this one does come with mating flanges. So with a complete pump build or liquid end build, you would get the gasket and the mating flange on both sides. So that's your oval flange. So next on the list is the P configuration, which happens to be 3/16 stainless. The P we can see here is a Victaulic connection, and this does not come with a mating flange. The last pump body on the list of the part section is the C configuration. We can see that this is a 3/16 stainless pump body, and this is an iso clamp connection. Again, does not come with mating flanges. One more reminder, I guess, is the only configuration that comes with a mating flange is the T configuration, which is the oval. So thanks for watching. Hopefully that was helpful. For additional information, look up Goulds.com or give us a call.